ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 1063, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Theo here. EDS is yes. You've heard me say that over and over. So I need you to keep this website in mind too. EDSIsYes.com. For the most trusted AC specialist here in Palm Beach County, EDSIsYes.com. For 24/7 support, EDS is a trained comfort specialist. It's hard to stop a train. There are so many reasons why EDS is yes when it comes to your air conditioning and plumbing. EDSIsYes.com. That's EDSIsYes.com.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Good afternoon, happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063. Friday, December the 27th. First time on since the holiday season, since Christmas has passed. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. I know it is still going on for those who celebrate Hanukkah. I believe the fourth day of Hanukkah. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I hope everybody's enjoying the holiday time with family, with friends, whatever it may be. Colin Russo with you, join alongside me. Back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach is none other than Cade Chumslin with us today with Christian Cat helping us out today behind the glass in the studio as well. I am remote. I am over in Connecticut, still with family in holiday limbo mode, which is basically what the 6-7 day period post-Christmas before the new year. This is a period of time in which nobody has any idea what the hell is going on, and there is no sense of direction. And it's just, you're out of routine, you're out of rhythm, and nothing really gets going again until the new year hits. But I'd like to welcome in my partner in crime for the day. Next 2 hours we're with you is Cade Chumslin. Cade, how you doing? How was your holiday?
I am doing fantastic, Colin. My holiday could not have been better, and it's definitely it has definitely been a little bit weird these last 2 days. That post-Christmas vibes have not been super strong. I've been in the office the last 2 days, and I've come into a dark room each and every time. So I'm excited.
Last 2 days, what you had your holiday, and then what? Walk me through your last couple of days.
I had my holiday before Christmas this year. I left immediately after the Boca Raton Bowl last Wednesday, spent 7 days out of town on the road, spent 40 hours in the car in 4 days, and got right back to work post-Christmas, and nobody else was here. Everyone else is still out of town right now. So I'm putting in my hours. I'm here right now, but it's definitely been a little bit interesting.
Yeah, so 40 hours in 4 days. How'd you split that up?
Yeah, so I have family in central Oklahoma, and so my wife and I road tripped it to Oklahoma. We took 2 days to get out there. We stopped in Atlanta, and it was actually really cool because I have friends and family in Atlanta. So while we drove on the way there, we said hi to friends that first night. And then the second day, took that trip to Oklahoma. We spent 2 whole days in Oklahoma, then did the exact same thing on the way back where it took 2 days to come back. We went from Oklahoma to Atlanta the first day, actually got to say hi to some of her friends and family that night. And then the last day was Atlanta back down to West Palm.
Wow, so you've got a productive couple of days here. Central Oklahoma, a Christian Cat, our producer, can tell you all you need to know about that drive, I'm sure. I'm sure you've done that a couple times, right, CK?
Yes. You pass through Texhoma, the world's largest casino. It's kind of just one big circle, and it sucks, actually. That drive is not for the faint of heart. A lot of gas stations, though.
A lot of gas stations and the world's largest casino. That for that 8-minute period that you're passing that casino and the other 30 hours that you're on the road is just gas stations. But wonderful.
The Memphis Pyramid is pretty cool, I got to say.
Ooh,
if you go the way through Memphis like we did, you get to see the Memphis Pyramid. So that was pretty cool. There were a few sites, but otherwise you're just trees
maybe
and
I'm stupid.
wastelands.
There's pyramids in Memphis.
Oh, you are not cultured, my friend.
my
You're not a real
God.
American.
Tell me about these pyramids.
No,
What are
it's
they?
the Memphis Pyramid. It's the Bass Pro Shop Memphis Pyramid.
Oh, I didn't know that was in Memphis. I
okay.
know of that. Yeah, I didn't know that was in Memphis. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Listen, Memphis is it's not my set destination. Let's just put it that way. I have no interest in going to Memphis. So that's just my take there. That was Cade, Christian, and Colin Russo with you next 2 hours. We got a packed show ahead of us. No Fat Jack later today. We're going to make some picks against the spread a little later. Send you off into a holiday weekend of some playoff implicating football. Not a ton. We'll get into that a little later on in the program, but it's the holiday season. And Cade, Christian, I want to go around the room a little bit because we're people who have our different, styles and how we do our holidays. I'm up north, of course. Cade liked to be in the car for the last 4 days. And Christian, your holiday, it consisted of what?
Just being home. Like I didn't do much at all
Hanging
for the
out.
holidays. Yeah.
Right. So
Went
you're
to
not
the,
you don't have a
parents'
you don't
place.
have,
That's it.
So you don't have a a set thing that you guys do every year?
No, we kind of one of the thing was Chinese food. Didn't do that because of the diet. So like that's pretty much it.
You're a Chinese food on Christmas?
Yeah, on Christmas, not Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve's the big grand dinner and all that, but Christmas Day, yeah.
That's a vibe.
Yeah, Chinese food.
I thought for those who didn't celebrate Christmas, I thought that was the thing, is that you go get Chinese food on Christmas night.
That's what those
Maybe I
people
was
do
wrong.
right, man. Those people. It kind of sounds weird when I say it that way, but
No,
that's who
I
those
thought
who
it was
don't
like people
celebrate.
who just don't celebrate Christmas. I'm pretty sure that's whether it's somebody from Asian ethnicity or Jewish or whatever it may be. I'm pretty sure that's just a thing, is they go get Chinese.
Do we think
Chinese
that
food.
Mike Rizzo got Chinese on Wednesday?
No, I don't think Mike.
I
Rizzo
don't think
got
he did
Chinese.
either.
No. But so this is a weird part of the year, and I kind of want to get everybody's take on this because this is mine. Now, I'm in Connecticut at the moment, so I'm not back at the studio. I'm not back, I guess, in home base, but I'm at home. And Christmas is past. I've seen the family. That is all set. Now I'm in complete limbo. And that has just been something that has been this part of the year. Nobody comes into work. Nothing is pressing. You have your holiday. It mixes in some capacity with the weekend. This is limbo. There is nothing going on. And you're just kind of waiting for a certain sporting event to happen. You might work a little bit. You're not going to work very productively. This is limbo. There's not a lot going on. And am I right on this or am I wrong?
No, you're completely correct. And it also doesn't help that Christmas and New Year's happened on a Wednesday. So your week is completely split up. We're going to have one random day off next week for New Year's, and then we have to get right back to work. So it doesn't help that it happens on a Wednesday. It doesn't help that it's a very even 7 days between Christmas and New Year's. Like, unless they fall on Sunday, it's hard to just take a full week off because then you have a weird – it's so awkward right now for what you're supposed to be doing.
It is almost awkward. Yeah, it is almost awkward. Like, now what? Now what?
Yeah.
I went to the theater. Movie theater 2 different times yesterday. Now, I didn't stay and went to 2 movies. I went 2 times.
By yourself?
That's a watch list activity. Are you kidding me?
No, I went with my family. We saw the Bob Dylan movie, which is great. You both should go see it.
Complete Unknown, okay.
Yep, at 10:30 a.m. So we went nice in the morning, got up, got some breakfast, went to go see the movie. I got back, I don't know, it's 1 o'clock. I went for a run. I've realized that I have shin splints, so I took off the running and I had to walk the rest of it. So that annoyed me. And I'm like, all right, I can't do anything exercise-wise. Now what? There's nothing to watch. The Seattle game is at night. All right, I'm going to go back to the movies. So I went back to the theater and I saw a movie I saw Nosferatu, that Dracula horror movie. Yeah. It was okay. The Bob Dylan movie was great. The other movie was okay, and I went at 4 o'clock, and I was out of there at 6. I went back, had some dinner, and watched the game. That was my day.
Colin, you're relatively young, but you've got an old soul. How are you with phones in the movie theater? Like, do you put it down for 2.5 hours, then pick it up at the end, or are you?
Now, the guy next to me in the second showing, because I went alone to that one. I went with my family the first time. That was no problem. The guy next to me in the theater on the second showing. So this is 4 o'clock. It's like this guy's never been in a movie theater before. He shoes off, socks. He was like, we're on the recliner seat, so there's space. But he's leaning back and he's got his feet up, like crisscross, but like sort of like in a triangle thing with parallel to the ground. And he's got his feet, and it's almost like covering the screen. I tapped him. I'm like, dude, get your feet out of the way.
Wait,
It's
is he-
literally,
wait, is he
it
next
was literally
to you?
covering my, yes, he was next to me. It was covering my line of sight to the screen. This guy's feet in his socks. Get out of here, dude. What are you doing?
So how packed
had
was the
his-
movie theater where someone was right next to you?
Hold on. These are like the recliner seats.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hold on. The movies were packed because there's like 4 things that came out on Christmas Day. So think about the day after Christmas, a lot of people were going to the theater.
Fair.
Because they got nothing going on because it's limbo. And lo and behold, this guy, who at first rodeo at the movie theater, goes up and he's putting his feet up in the sky. He was adjusting himself nonstop. I'm pretty sure he took a nap at some point in the movie.
Oh, now I'm seeing it. I'm still confused on how this guy was sitting from your description. I now get it. Wow.
Leaned
that
back,
took too
and he
long.
almost has like his feet bent, but like
Yes.
he has his other foot across it.
Across
so
it,
the
yes.
Foot, yes.
Are
and
you?
it was
Do
like,
you know what he's talking about now?
Yeah. Well, you have
That
one
took me
leg.
too long.
Exactly. It looks like the
and
number
it's-
4.
Hold on, the foot was in the screen.
Yeah.
It was covering the screen. I'm like, dude, stop. And I'm not the type. I'm not the type to like, stop doing this. I don't like complain about that because I could lock into the movie. But when there's a foot in the way of the screen, I have to say something. So I did say something.
So
to that guy.
when you walk into a blank theater, Colin, what's like go-to sitting spot? Like you had any seat to choose from.
you got to
didn't-
sit middle front,
Okay.
middle front.
Okay.
Because if the theater is one of those theaters that has like sort of halfway up, halfway down, you want to go in the
Yep.
close section, but the last row towards the middle.
Okay.
That's the way I do it. I have no problem going to the back. You avoid the front 3 at all costs, and then, but I'll usually get tickets in advance. I'll know my seat. I'm all good, and usually I have no problem going to the theater by myself. So I'm kind of comfortable in most spots. But for that specific one, as long as you could listen, you could get snacks, you could eat, drink, whatever. But as long as your feet are not in the sky during the movie, you and I are not going to have a problem. But that was a problem that I didn't know I had with moviegoers, and now I do have. Is that guy with his feet adjusting every 5 seconds. Dude, watch the movie. There's only 2 hours. So you got to sit still.
So you went back to the same theater twice in the same day. I know that you said before on these airwaves that you have a membership for that movie theater company. That makes more sense to me. But you've said that those theaters aren't around our area. Did you still have the membership when you went back there, so it was still free?
It's a good question. So here's what I did. I went with my family first go around. Let's just call it like we see it. Family covered the first ticket.
Fair enough.
That's how we do it. There we
Yeah.
go.
Second ticket, it was so I'm a Regal guy now. I used to be AMC. And I used to be an AMC Stubbs A-list, which means you get the tickets and the membership and the whole thing. And I still had rewards points left over for that theater because of, I had that thing for a year. So all these, and they go away at a certain point. I believe it's like a year, and then they start to go away. But I used it to rewards, like $5 rewards. So the ticket was like $1.60 or something like that.
Nice.
Oh,
So I was
wow.
able to just use all of my I used all of my rewards points, but there's no AMC around us in the Palm Beach County area. So I was
Rip to
able to
the
do
one
that,
that
and I
was
went again.
Right there.
Yeah, exactly. We used to have one a walk from where our current studios are.
Yeah,
that
bothers me.
Question for you also. How close is the movie theater from your house?
It's like probably a 10-minute drive.
Okay, wow. So this was a convenient. How soon after the first movie did you know you're going to return to this very movie theater for movie number 2?
Walked in the door from coming back from the first movie at around 1:15, 1:20. And I would say around 2:05, I made my decision that I'm going back.
Now, did you know what movie you were going to watch, or did you like,
No,
hey, I'll
no.
find whatever?
No, because there's only a couple movies that are out right now that I have, I guess, an interest in seeing. I saw the Bob Dylan movie, which I totally recommend people go see, A Complete Unknown. It's a 4-year period. It's a good biopic for those who care. It's a biopic, but it doesn't have, like, the qualms that a normal biopic does, where, like, you see the beginning of their life, they see the dramatic rise to fame, you see them living in their glory, and then you see, because of one of drugs, alcohol, women, crime, whatever it may be, then their lives just collapse. That's a lot of music biopics, is that you see the rise and you see the fall. But this one wasn't like that. It was like, this is the thick of sort of the rise, and you're sticking on the rise with Bob Dylan the whole way. So I really enjoyed that movie. Go see it. And then the second one, it was either I see Nosferatu, who I like the director, but I'm not like a Dracula fan. I don't know who is.
No, they
I wouldn't
exist.
put it-
They're like
Yeah,
horror movie
I wouldn't put it
fans
past
are
Mike
out
Rizzo.
there.
Maybe he's a Dracula fan. And it was that. It was some I don't know, like erotic romance movie. I was gonna miss me on that one. I was interested in going to see Wicked, but it wasn't in that theater. And everybody says Wicked is great.
Yeah, I'm
So
about to go see it probably
Yeah.
in a few weeks. I'm about to go see it. I need to get my ticket soon, but we just got an AMC gift card for Christmas, my wife and I. So that's our next stop.
So yeah, and I didn't know that it wasn't in that theater. I wanted to go see that, but it's also like a 3-hour movie, so I wasn't in it for a marathon.
For part
And
one,
I
which
saw-
is interesting.
Yeah, and then I went and saw the Nosferatu, which was okay. It was a horror movie, like imagery, the whole thing, and I enjoyed it. And I'm a movie guy, so it doesn't bother me. But that was my time period. That was my day.
Yeah.
And now I'm sitting here today waiting to do the show all day. That was my theme.
Should we
And
do a little bit of a Golden Globes tribute for next Sunday when those get released? Should we do something next week for that?
Yeah, well, you got to watch. You got to make sure you see all the awards. We'll do that for Oscar season in the off season. We'll do
Understood.
some Oscar stuff. You got to go see all of the Oscar noms. And one thing about that, really quickly before we go into Thursday Night Football, is Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. I'd be blown away if he doesn't get that Oscar and win it. So that's how I thought he was really, really good in the role. So, and I don't know. That's my takeaway on that. And then I go home, and then we saw one of the most god-awful football games I think I've watched all year in that Seattle Seahawks Chicago Bear game. I couldn't draw up an uglier game than what we saw yesterday. Caleb Williams getting sacked nonstop. Bears can't move the ball. Seattle can't move the ball. Geno Smith, a couple good drives here. Terrible clock management. Terrible coaching, both sides. What a ugly, god-awful game. I don't even know. I don't like a second of what I watched yesterday. And it's not even just a Caleb Williams fault. It's not even just a Bears fault. Part of it's Seattle, too. Seattle has a decent offense, but when they shut up, they shut up. You can't. They are a polarizing bunch. I did not enjoy myself watching that game yesterday.
I didn't watch it. I saved myself the trouble on that one. I had just gotten home from vacation, so I didn't even bother with this one. And I checked the score right before I went to bed because I honestly was feeling bad for myself. I was like, should I be like a good sports broadcaster and watch this game, or should I just have like a nice because it was one time I didn't have like an event to go to for ESPN West Palm Play. I finally had like a few minutes to myself, and I decided my wife and I had like a very calm, made dinner together, had a very calm evening. I was like, I hope this isn't a good game.
You would have ruined a nice evening.
I would have. I was so blessed when I flipped up my phone at midnight right before I went to bed and I saw 6-3 final score, and I was like, I played this more perfectly than I could have imagined. So I'm sorry you had to sit through that. And the Seahawks, I mean, credit to them, but I think the biggest thing is 10 losses in a row for the Bears since the Hail Mary.
Yeah. Yep.
It's going to be one of the biggest single play flips of a season we've ever seen.
100%. That was an ugly one. We'll get into that. We'll get into more. We got a playoff implicating weekend ahead. But my real question is, because of the Seattle Seahawks, the whole point of that game was they need to stay above water and stay afloat in the NFC West race. And, of course, they're head-to-head with the Rams, who play tomorrow night against the Arizona Cardinals, and determining if that Ram game will, I guess if they win, they beat the Cardinals, then off of strength of victory in the tiebreaker, they might already have that NFC West division won before they even play the Seahawks in Week 18. We'll get into that. My question lies, all things considered, the teams that are good, the drama, the narratives, the storylines, the product, has this been a bad NFL season comparatively? We know we love the NFL. We watch every game. People will watch it hell or high water. But has this comparatively been a bad season?
I don't think it's been a bad season in the sense of the type of competition that we've gotten, because I still think there have been fantastic football games all year long. But it's been bad for the NFL branding. Cowboys are doing bad. Both New York teams are doing bad. Miami's not in it. LA teams aren't really in it. San Francisco 49ers.
There's 10 teams with 4 and under wins.
There's
That's
so
bad.
much, and there's a lot of branding teams. New England Patriots, New Orleans
100%.
Saints. There's so many.
Giants.
Chicago Bears were a huge loss, not just because of Chicago, but also because of Caleb Williams. So they've been the huge loss. So from that perspective, I understand what you're saying. But from the numbers perspective and the quality of play, I actually don't think this has been that bad of an NFL season. 22.8 points per game. That's been the complete average for the entire season. That actually ranks 8th in NFL history. So from a scoring perspective, I know we started off slow, but we've really hit a good stride. I think all of the teams that we expect to be competing come end of postseason are playing their best football now. Kansas City Chiefs finally beating teams by multiple digits. Baltimore Ravens dominating. Buffalo Bills winning last second games.
Good. That's good. Not to butt in, Cade.
No, you're
that's
good.
But those Christmas games stunk. Those games were not good. Those games, the teams that are supposed to be in the playoffs played well, but those games were not good. On the flip side of things, we'll break this down. I think there's a conversation to be had about the quality of NFL season that we are seeing due to a number of factors, due to a number of narratives, due to a number of baskets that the NFL put eggs into, and nothing has really come out of it. We'll break that down as we continue on the program. Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, or suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are here to fight for you. I personally know with Anajar and Levine, they have my back no matter what. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes, one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for your free consultation today. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Don't waste any time. Take back control today with Anajar and Levine. Is the NFL having a bad season, all things consideredly? Big markets not playing that well, not being in the mix, bad games in the holiday slates. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to break down. We'll break it down next on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar and Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
Rolling on here on a Friday edition of Russo and Rizzo, Friday, December the 27th. Colin Russo, Cage, Holmes, and back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach alongside Christian Catt, who is producing the program today, making sure we stay on the airwaves. Have a big NFL week ahead of us, Week 17. We had 2 games on the Christmas slate. We had a game on Thursday night slate on Amazon Prime Instant Video. A bad game between Seattle and the Bears. You had a bad game between the Chiefs and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, of course, you had a really ugly one between the Houston Texans and the Baltimore Ravens on Christmas Day. 3 bad games to start off Week 17 with a lot of good playoff-implicating teams as we roll on here with a triple header tomorrow and, of course, a packed Sunday of NFL football. My question lies, is this a bad year for the NFL? 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. That's 888-760-3776. Do you think this is a bad NFL season, all things considered? Matchups, big market teams, big storylines. I think it's taken a hit. Curious what your thoughts are. 888-760-3776. Now that we're into the last 2 weeks of the year and these games haven't been as great as advertised, in my opinion, what better way to combat this and get into the games than getting involved on Hard Rock Bet? Don't miss your chance to get big wins all season. Go download it today on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Go to hardrock.bet today to get started. There's so many different props you could do. If you're not the big-time bettor, you don't like putting a lot of money on each and every game, put a little and get a bunch of legged parlays to increase your value. As little as $1 you could put into a parlay up to 20 legs. A South Florida bettor in Week 6 put $1 on a first touchdown score parlay. 5 different players to score the first touchdowns of their games that Sunday. Turned $1 parlay into $40,000. They did it on Hard Rock Bet. So can you. Get started today. You're going to be watching these games anyway. You might as well sprinkle a little action on them and make it a little more fun and worthwhile, financially and monetarily. But, of course, with the college football playoff coming up next week, you got bowl season over the weekend. It's going to be a lot of stuff to watch. NBA's in full-fledged now. Go have some fun on Hard Rock Bet. If you try it now, you get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. That first bet can be a parlay, prop, the over. What do you like to bet in a game you choose? You either win your first bet or get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's a Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms, conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. So before Christian and Cade, before I present my argument, I just want to read through my perspective on this before I kind of let you guys give your rebuttal if you disagree with me. So let's think about this. Coming into the year, the NFL wanted, let's just think. We're thinking from the NFL's perspective at this point. What does the NFL want? They want big market teams playing in big spots. Those big market teams are New York teams, are the Boston teams, the New England Patriots. Teams that dominate the Midwest like the Chicago Bears. The Green Bay Packers are a big one. Of course, Kansas City, it's its own market. And a West Coast team. The West Coast team is not the Rams or the Chargers. The West Coast team is the San Francisco 49ers, the Dallas Cowboys, the team in South Florida, Miami Dolphins. They want these teams fighting for big-time positions late in the year. If not, all right, we can't have the big market teams. Who do we want instead? We want big stars. You want the Joe Burrows of the world to be somebody who is competing for playoff implications late in the year. They're not getting this. And on top of this, they're getting hurt. Viewership doesn't reflect that. But they're getting hurt with the quality of the matchups on Thanksgiving. All 3 games stunk except for the latter half of that Bear-Lion game, the first one of that. And the Christmas games stunk. And a lot of the Monday Night Football games have been terrible. Thursday night has had a decent year. A lot of the Sunday games, they're missing out because there's 10 teams that have 4 or less wins that are basically, shoo-ins, walkovers in a lot of these matchups. The NFL might, comparatively, this might be a bad year comparatively to what we've seen in the NFL standards of things.
Yeah, it's tough because the teams that are good, they've been good. These Ravens aren't new. We're used to watching the freak athlete Lamar Jackson. We're used to seeing the freak athlete of Josh Allen. And obviously the Kansas City Chiefs. America is used to that. Football fan or not, America is used to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes winning. You go to the NFC. Last year, the Lions were new. They're not new anymore. They're here. They're a little bit better, and now they're getting banged up, but they're not the new kids on the block anymore. The Eagles were in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. That's not new at all. Who is new? I guess the Commanders. That's like the newest good team, and the one team I didn't mention, the Vikings. The Vikings don't excite me, and I can't explain why. Is it just Sam Darnold?
Oh,
is that the
my
only
guy.
thing?
I can definitely explain why.
Why?
The Minnesota Vikings are historically mediocre when it comes to big-time games. They're mediocre in the playoffs. They're mediocre in prime time. They can make it happen when you're not looking, and as soon as all eyes are on them, they instantly crumble. They are the only team, or actually, they are the only team since the late 90s to get to a 5-0 start and miss the playoffs multiple times. Now, they didn't have that happen this year, but they're one of only 2 teams that has gone to the Super Bowl and for at least 4 times and lost all 4 times, that being the Buffalo Bills is the other team. The Minnesota Vikings historically can't make things happen in big games, so there's no reason to trust them when they get back to a big game. That's why they don't excite you.
I do think there's a sense of truth to that, but that's also thinking in a broad scope historically. You're bringing up a lot of losses that they had back in the 80s, losing Super Bowls. Now, one thing I would argue that I would add to this is, let's call it like we see it. The Minnesota Vikings are not a big market team.
Yeah.
It's not a big market team. They're a historical team, but this is not an exciting market. Just because the Minnesota Timberwolves are good doesn't mean the rest of the world is going to resonate with what's going on with the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Vikings. It's Minnesota. It's a pretty niche market. It's not like the Green Bay Packers where it's America's brand in a small city in Wisconsin. It doesn't have that. If you stuck that entire roster, coach down through the kicker of the Minnesota Vikings, and you put them on the Giants, it might be one of the biggest stories in sports. That's probably that's how the markets work. If you took that with the best, if not number 2, one of the best 2 receivers in the league, a great comeback story, a quarterback who's young and he's playing great. They have a great rising, star and a head coach. They have a good defense that fires on all cylinders, turns the ball over. They blitz teams. They've beaten they have big games. They have a great home field. You stick that in MetLife, they're getting in national television every single week. It's a small market. But to Christian's point, we've seen a lot of this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are good, but I don't think I think everybody's on the same page that they're not that good. They're good. They're not that good. Same thing we've seen every year with them. And, people want stars. People want something new. People want change. But also people want big markets because big markets get cities buzzing. And get cities buzzing gets the media into it. And when the media is into it, then the fans are into it. I don't think the NFL necessarily has that on top of a great storyline to follow along this season. That hurts it.
Yeah, the middle class of the NFL is really bad because we know, just hands down definitively, because of the results that we saw on Christmas Day, which were 2 upper middle class NFL teams getting dog walked by the elite of the NFL. We were reinstated about how much of a separation of power there is between the top 5 teams in the NFL and the rest. It doesn't feel like there's any chance from anyone knocking off what our presumed NFC Championship game could be. Maybe the Packers have something to say about that. Maybe the Vikings have something to say about that. But it certainly feels like Eagles-Lions, and it certainly feels like a combination of either the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs.
And I'm going to piggyback off of what CCAT's saying, because, Colin, you're talking more of the brand and the marketing side of the NFL, why it's been a bad season. I think it's just been the quality of play. These are sad games we're watching.
Oh, a lot of bad. There hasn't been a good Monday night game all year. That Saint Packer game was one of the worst games I've ever watched. Followed by that Thursday night game, which is, again, just god-awful. Terrible.
Now, it doesn't help that some of your bigger markets are those teams that are sucking right now, like the New York Jets and the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers, and I could keep going on. Miami is finally starting to find a little bit of a group. But, like, it's been such bad football. And last year, we could accredit a little bit of it to injuries. This year, there haven't been as many big-time injuries. Dak Prescott was big. Tua for the beginning of the season. Yeah. Otherwise, like, the 49ers have had their whole roster kind of get injured. But I'm just talking like
quarterbacks,
big-time guys that are leading your franchise, not getting injured. Jets haven't been injured. Texans haven't been injured. I know they're going to be a playoff team, but still, it's still embarrassing to get only a safety up on Christmas Day. And I think that, especially the beginning of the season, the Chiefs were barely beating teams. The Ravens started off, 0-3 this season?
Yeah, 0-2.
And then they absolutely trounced on Buffalo. So there have been so many disgusting blowouts. The Lions putting up plus 50 points against two teams from the AFC South, that we don't get excited about those big-time games. And I'll also say, any game that we have gotten that's been good and close has been a 1 o'clock slate. There have been a lot of sneaky 1 o'clock games that not everyone has been able to put their eyes on, because all of our primetime games are getting filled up with complete blowouts.
Well, and also, when you have 10 teams that are effectively out of it, and 10 teams that have double-digit losses, that where do you put them? You have to schedule them with people. You have to schedule them in these games. Part of the reason why people get into the games is because there's a narrative attached to it, because there's implications attached to it. For the non-fan of the teams that are playing to get into the game, there has to be something that they're worth playing for. And when it's one of the two teams that necessarily have something to play for, and the other team is kind of just like rolling over and dying and waiting for the offseason, there's not a lot of intrigue there. There's not a lot of intrigue in the Chicago Bears, who are lifeless offensively, trying to put something together, and the team that has playoff implications kind of just escaping the game. That's not as intriguing and interesting, especially when there's 10 teams like the Chicago Bears in the NFL.
Yeah, you got to blame the Bears, blame the Jets. Those are the two teams that had a chance to be competent and to be exciting, new, fresh, interesting playoff teams, and they were out of it midway through the season. It's not even like they were the chase to make the playoffs and they fell short in the end. No. The Jets were 2-6. What about the Bears have lost 10 straight games? They never were in the playoff conversation, and it's their own damn faults.
Yeah, I'd add 4 more. San Francisco.
Yeah.
Yep.
Call it injuries if you want.
Yep.
Dallas. Call it injuries if you want. Another team that probably has big market implications. The team that won 12 games last year, not in the mix. Cleveland.
That's the one I was going to say.
Playoff. Team that has a ton of talent, team that brought their quarterback back and thought be a small market team that could make some noise on the NFL side of things. And the last one I'd say is Cincinnati.
True.
Whether you think Cincinnati still might be in it or not, just because Kansas City lost on Christmas, I'm going to assume that Cincinnati is effectively eliminated. They need too much help to get into the postseason. You can't start slow every season and get away with it if you're Cincinnati and have a big star quarterback that people want to watch.
I'll also
can't
say,
do it every year.
Also, I'm going to support your point, Colin, that the markets control the drive of excitement in the NFL. New Orleans Saints.
It's another big market. That's a good point.
But is it a big market, though? Is New Orleans a big market now? Because we haven't talked about the Saints in probably 3 or 4 years, and I really haven't, quote-unquote, missed them.
Yeah. True, but like the Saints have been in their own little ballpark because they've ran the South. And there's not another team in the NFC South that has that big market capability. You know, Atlanta's not really that.
I think Atlanta has a word with that. It's because of the despair of how bad their teams in Georgia and their minus the Braves World Series have really had there. I think Atlanta should be the big market that dominates the South because the Panthers are garbage, have been garbage. Take
It's
away
not a
the
great
one
sports
Cam
town,
Newton.
and Tampa Bay is not either. It's a good fan base, but it's not a great sports town.
Atlanta should be, especially with all the additions they made during the offseason and paying Kirk Cousins that amount of money. Maybe we'll see a little bit more and build a little bit more. A lot's going to be told. It would be good for the NFL. The best game this weekend we have is going to be Commanders-Falcons. The Falcons need to pull off the upset and win that game.
Okay, I would also say Vikings-Packers is the better game, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, that's true, but consequential.
Playoff, consequential, that's the key word there. The Packers and the Vikings are both getting in. The NFL needs the Vikings to win that game because they want Vikings-Lions to mean something last game of the year.
Oh, desperately.
The Vikings lose to the Packers, that game means nothing, then the Lions don't have to play anybody. The NFL is screwed because then the Ram game against Seattle does not mean anything. That Viking-Lion game means absolutely nothing. The Cincinnati game means absolutely nothing. The Kansas City game means absolutely nothing. The NFL gets killed.
You're going to need the Bengals to beat the Broncos tomorrow. That's a
You
huge
need the Bengals
one.
to beat the Broncos tomorrow. Because
if the Broncos win, they're, I think, in, right?
Yes,
yeah.
Broncos
and
clinch
Bengals would be out. I also believe the Dolphins and Colts.
The Colts. See, the Colts have
No,
two. See, but all those teams need Denver to lose.
No,
they
the
need
Colts,
Denver to lose.
The Colts have nothing to do with Denver. I looked that up. The Colts are trying to get Los Angeles a spot.
It's
the
brutal.
Colts have. They also because they got killed head to head against
Against
Denver,
Denver. But
so
the
they're
reason,
not going to steal that spot.
The
anyway.
reason they're not eliminated is because because they're still 2 games behind Los Angeles.
And Los Angeles has the Patriots and the Raiders to finish off the year.
Yeah, so that's not really going to mean anything either.
It's not going to mean anything. So if you're thinking about implications, you want a storyline for the NFL, let's walk it through it. The Cincinnati Bengals needed the Chiefs to lose because they needed the Chiefs to play people against the Broncos last game of the year in order for them to get in. That's not going to happen anymore. The Chiefs are not going to play a meaningful game for 25, 26 days. That is a problem. And then you think about from the Colts side of things, the Colts don't have the head-to-head over anybody, and the Colts needed to win that Denver game in which they were up 10-0, and then they would have controlled their own destiny. But they lost that game, so now they're screwed. So the AFC, there's not a lot of intrigue. That's not good for the NFL. Has the NFL had a bad year, fellas? Are we getting on the wave?
I think I'm with you.
I don't think it's necessarily it's a poorer season, also just compared to previous seasons. But we're also talking about an MVP race that has been closer than I can remember, right?
That's true.
That we're absolutely yelling our heads off for half of theoretically speaking because of 2 guys in the MVP race. And you're also talking about, I've also been sick of Super Bowls being lame. We had a good one with the Eagles, but we've had 2.
Hey, we had overtime in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah,
Bro,
the last 2 with the Chiefs were good.
We had a good Super
That was
Bowl.
a field goal ridden bad quarterback play Super Bowl.
Come on now.
That was not very
You're
fun.
giving
I don't think that's fair, Cade.
you're
I
giving
don't
sudden
think
death
Super Bowls are Super Bowls.
overtime Super Bowl. Get out of
Cade
here.
wants to bash the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm there yet. I'll bash the regular season. I don't know if I'll bash the Super Bowl. I don't know if I'm there yet. Cade, we'll see what happens this season. But I mean,
I think it's gonna be better. That's what I'm saying. I think we're gonna get a better
you
Super
need
Bowl.
intrigue. You need storyline. Yeah, there's something to the MVP storyline, but I think people care more about when teams are kind of playing for their lives more so than whether Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson could have the best statistical last 2 weeks of the year. So from that perspective, I see it. But the NFL, this is taking a hit a little bit. They're spread pretty thin in terms of where all these games are, and you don't necessarily have the product to back it up. And people are going to watch the NFL regardless. That you're willing to admit. I'm 100% on board. But there's something to be, considered with how it's sort of fallen into pieces and into place a little bit. That it's a little lopsided, and you have 2 or 3 divisions kind of dominating the NFL at the moment. Off of that, maybe it's time to consider that the NFL is having a bad year.
Last point for you, Colin. It
Go ahead.
doesn't help that college football is having one of their best years ever.
Well, yes, regular season, 100%. Now the postseason is there.
We'll get
Time
back
to
to
back
better
it up.
games, though. We'll get back to better games for
Bad
college
start
football.
for the college football side of things on the first round of college football playoff. We'll see what happens, of course, with the 4 games that are going down on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. As we continue on, that was Cade Chumslin, Christian Cat, Colin Russo with you on ESPN 106.3 for Russo and Rizzo. We continue onward. 888-760-3776. The number to get into the program. Has the NFL had a bad year? Product, narrative, storyline, big market's not in the mix. 888-760-3776. We roll on here. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Florida Atlantic women's basketball season is here. Join head coach Jennifer Sullivan and star guards Maya Perry and Jada Moore at Eleanor R. Baldwin Arena this year for big-time college basketball action. Groups of 15 or more get in free. Single game tickets just $10. The band, the cheerleaders, the fun, the action, it's all there with Florida Atlantic women's basketball. Visit FAUsports.com for more information. Florida Atlantic Owls, winning in paradise.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9491. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9491. That's 800-575-9491. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. The Construction Reduction Sales Event is going on right now at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Greenway Kia is under construction and we need to move the 24s off the lot so the new 2025s at the port can be delivered. So, we're making deals that other dealers won't. New 2024 Kia Fortes are only $149 per month. Make no payments until next year. Plus, we want your trade. Get up to $6,000 over Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade. If you have a job bringing home $350 per week, we want to approve your credit. It's the season of new traditions only at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Qualified applicants through KFA, 24-month lease, $34.99 due at signing, 10,000 miles per year, 0 security deposit required, plus tax, tag, and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinanced. 90 days deferred payments. Interest accrues from date of purchase. Discount includes all factory rebates to dealer. Offers don't combine. Expires 12/30/24.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
NFL might be having a bad year. It might be time for us to start looking at it in the mirror and thinking, all right, reflectively, I don't know if the product is as good as we would like it to be, and the narratives are as, I guess, strong and deep as we'd like it to be on the NFL side of things. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063. Colin Russo, Kate Chumson filling in for Mike Rizzo, and Christian Cat, as always, back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach, helping us out on ESPN 1063. We're in limbo in between Christmas and New Year's, that 6-day period where I think nothing of note happens in everybody's personal lives. It's just nothing important. It's just complete limbo. Nobody knows what the hell is going on, myself included. But, something I've reflected upon now that I am not down in Florida at the moment is I miss my time over at Flagstick Golf Performance because it's the ultimate indoor golf experience. I need to get back working on my golf game because at Flagstick Golf Performance, it's the ultimate indoor golf experience. It's in Boynton Beach. It is now open. It's a unique facility, has 3 state-of-the-art indoor simulators. On top of that, a state-of-the-art putting studio too. Covers all the bases on the golf side of things. Even if you want to get regripped, you want new heads on your clubs, you want to get lengthened, shortened, whatever you like. It has a tour-inspired build shop. Andy and the team make sure they work with players of all different skill sets to make sure that they're playing at the top of their game. And it is, you can get lessons, you can get it regripped, you can get actual walkthroughs, the whole thing. Go check out their Instagram, Flagstick Golf performance because it's really the optimal environment that gives you plenty of technology to allow you to get insights that you wouldn't necessarily get on the golf course, but it also gives you professionals on top of that who know how to read these data insights and kind of translate it in English in a lot of ways. As somebody who's not really, in tune with golf, I know Cade and Christian are comparatively to me, but I don't know what I'm looking at when I see, club face angle. But thankfully, Andy's there to explain it to me, and then I understand what the hell he's talking about and how that's impacting my swing. But go visit Flagstick Golf Performance. Or go visit them in person. Find out all the info you need at flagstickgolfperformance.com. We'll do a little better than yesterday, a little later on in the program. Now let's circle about this. We got a couple weeks to go in the NFL, fellas, and I think we're all on the same page that all right, it hasn't been great. There hasn't been a ton of storylines, but how do you know what heals all? A good playoffs heals all. If you have a great playoffs, it heals all. You need a storyline to follow. Now, is the NFL in your eyes, both Christian and Cade, better off if it's sort of chalk and, we're all waiting to see the Bills-Chiefs rematch and, the Eagles and the Lions haven't played each other and then one of the Eagles or the Lions playing the Chiefs to finish it all off? Or is it better if there's a little bit of a story? Lamar chasing his first Super Bowl. Josh Allen finally getting his first Super Bowl. Is the NFL better off with seeing the 15-1 Chiefs versus whoever comes out of the NFC to challenge them once again? Or is it better off seeing one of the great, AFC counterparts rise, come up with a story, and make their way to the first Super Bowl?
I think better. Let's make this very clear. Either storyline, I'm fascinated by, and I'm going to be glued to it. Whether it's the Chiefs striving for their third straight Super Bowl and making history that way, or one of these other franchises getting their first Super Bowls, i.e. the Buffalo Bills, the Detroit Lions, or the Minnesota Vikings. I think both are fantastic. Better, though, I think would be the first guys. I would die for a Buffalo Bills, Detroit Lions Super Bowl. And for the Bills to beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship.
So you want a rematch of that Bills-Lions game?
I want a rematch of the Bills-Lions game in the Super Bowl for each team to pick up their first Super Bowls, guaranteed. For the Bills, it could be fighting the demons of losing 4. For the Lions, it could be being the laughing stock of my entire life. I'll be dead honest.
And haven't won a Super Bowl. So there's a storyline there. I agree with that in terms of the NFL wants something to kind of, put all their chips into. I don't think Eagles-Chiefs is going to cut it, for the second time. I think they need, in terms of the potential matchups, I think that Bills-Lions would be up near the upper echelon of what they could possibly get. Christian, your thoughts?
Yeah, in the NFC, you need to have one of Packers or Lions. Packers are a national brand, kind of the old guard of the NFL, who we are used to seeing them at the top of the game. Seeing the Packers would make sense, and seeing the Lions, it's kind of the team that America has agreed upon to wrap their arms around and agree, we care about these Lions games now. These games are fantastic when you see Lions either crushing guys, which they won't crush anyone that comes out of the AFC, but the Lions are fun to watch. They bully teams into submission, and it'd be fun to finally see someone that is kind of up to the task like we saw with the Bills. But with the AFC, I think you kind of get an equally intriguing matchup in the Super Bowl, whether it's one of the three-headed dragons you'll get. I think the Chiefs going for the three-peat would be interesting. They would have America rooting as hard as possible against the Kansas City Chiefs if the Chiefs do make it to the Super Bowl. And you have a Lamar storyline, of course, and you have Josh Allen. America seems to like and take a liking to the Bills as well. I think that to answer the question you posed earlier, chalk is fine. Chalk is good as long as the games are good. The results, I would like to have the upper seeds win, but I want the games to be competitive.
All right, that's actually a good way to put it because, it doesn't matter if the Bills win 49-0. It doesn't matter that Josh Allen is getting that big. The Bills are getting that Super Bowl when the game stinks.
Yeah.
So there's a point to be made in regards to that. If I were to sort of put a ranking to it in terms of the potential of the 6 teams you kind of let out there, including 7 if you want to get the Packers and the Vikings both in there, I think best of the best would probably be something along the lines of Bills, Lions, to what Cade was saying, or the Ravens and Lions. I think that will be a great story. I think right under that would be Lions and Chiefs. Chiefs, the team that everybody hates, the team that everybody's sick of. Patrick Mahomes, the guy who's almost inevitable. He wins it. He figures out how to win. Doesn't matter who's with him. They got a great coach chasing immortality in a way. Stopping in the tracks, the three-peat, is almost like the unstoppable object facing the immovable machine. Like, it's they're on a crash course towards each other ever since that Week 1 game last year where the Lions took it in Week 1 of 2023. It's sort of it's almost destiny to see the Lions and the Chiefs kind of going towards each other. And if there's anybody that could sort of dethrone that black magic that the Chiefs end up figuring it out every week, it might be almost like the perfect assembly of all parts, if healthy, in the Lions.
Yeah.
Off of that, I think there's enough of a story there.
You talked me into it, man. If you were to book games as if it was WWE wrestling, which I'm a wrestling fan, you would book at WrestleMania the main event that you build the entire show around. The main event would be Chiefs-Lions, the ultimate good guy versus the ultimate bad guy in today's NFL. That would sell tickets. That put butts in seats. Not that you have to sell tickets, but you know what I'm saying. That would get mainstream love for that game. I'd be into that.
It's the unstoppable force meets the immovable object. That's really what that is. The Chiefs are immovable, and the Lions look unstoppable. So there's an intrigue there. I might have been selling myself. I might take down that Bills-Lion game that nobody cares about and stick in that Chief-Lion game and be my 1A Super Bowl matchup. That might be it.
The only detractor would be the 2 weeks of insufferability that the Chiefs did it again. They somehow made it out of that AFC.
Until the game, it stinks.
Oh, that would be really
all the
annoying.
Media,
and
Travis Kelce. Oh, God, stop.
What would break my heart in this hypothetical Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl? Think about the coaching matchup when it comes to actual decisions being made at the end of the game.
Don't do it. Don't say it.
Dan Campbell goes for it. And the Lions are up 3 on their own 35 with 2:30 to go, and they get stuffed on a Jahmyr Gibbs stretch out run, and all of a sudden you get Pat Mahomes the football in plus territory only. I can just see that sequence of events happening, and I'm seeing the tears of Detroit Lions fans. Who, honestly, listen, they got the Michigan National Championship, so I'm going to exclude the college fandom out of that. But Lions fans, the ones you see dress up like absolute morons in each and every home game, dress up like it's Mardi Gras, suffer a loss in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs because of coaching decisions, that'd be tough to watch, but that would be stuff of legends.
All I'm saying is if you're a player on the sideline, keep your feet on the ground. We don't need anyone jumping up and tearing an ACL, okay?
Who was that?
It was Dre Greenlaw, I think it was.
Greenlaw.
Achilles.
He tore his
Achilles.
He tore his Achilles.
Something
it was a
like
freak
that.
accident,
Yeah.
Kate.
He was just jumping. He's just jumping up and down.
Acting like it's some avoidable situation. It tore his Achilles, Kate.
I'm just saying, feet on the ground, people. That's all I'm saying.
Now, what would be the worst matchup of those teams that were available? Would people get into something like Vikings-Ravens?
I think
would that have an intrigue?
If you have any one of the not three-headed dragon in the AFC, it'd be disappointing. Like Steelers, Chargers, Broncos, Texans, I think would be like, all right, what are we doing here?
Well, you wouldn't watch Vikings-Chargers?
No. I honestly, for the first time in my life, I just might not watch the Super Bowl. It's like, what is that, Thursday Night Football Color Rush? Oh, no, that's the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. Dang.
So, all right, so we need one of the, in your head, we need one of the three-headed, the upper echelon 1A beasts in the AFC to advance to a Super Bowl in order to keep it interesting.
It would have to be Chiefs-Eagles. It would
Now,
have to be because every other team has a huge storyline behind them.
Mm-hmm.
The Chiefs are just playing the Eagles again to go for 3. But if you think about it, like if the Bills were in against anybody, they're trying to get their first Super Bowl. If Lamar is in against anybody, Lamar's trying to get his first Super Bowl. If it's the Lions in against anybody, they're the hometown team of
Ultimately
the NFL.
break the curse,
if the Packers are in, if the Eagles are in, now the Eagles again, that we're just there. If the Vikings are in against anybody, I know they're a smaller market, but again, trying to get their first Super Bowl. Like, could you imagine Bills-Vikings when they both went to 4 and lost 4 and now they're playing each other? To me, it's the repeat of what we've already seen. We want something new this year.
Yeah.
We just got Chiefs-49ers, and then we got Chiefs-49ers again. We just had Chiefs-Eagles. I don't want Chiefs-Eagles again.
Yeah, 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. What is the 1A Super Bowl matchup that would salvage a lackluster NFL season to this point? What would that matchup be in your head? Would it be Lamar going for his first Super Bowl against a team like the Lions? Would it be the Eagles finally trying to get it done under a Jalen Hurts-led team and Nick Sirianni in a big spot against the Bills? What would that be to you, that premier 1A Super Bowl matchup that you want to see? Let us know. 888-760-3776. We shift to New Jersey. Cologne from New Jersey. You're on Russo and Rizzo. Cologne, what's on your mind? What do you got?
Hey, guys. Happy holidays. The matchup I would like to see is Lions and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, if it isn't Chiefs in the Super Bowl. But I was thinking about this. Back in 2007, when the Patriots went to the undefeated season, the Giants was a team to beat them because of the defense and the pass rush against Tom Brady. And I'm thinking about this. Out of the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Lions, which team has the best pass rush and defense to go up against the Chiefs? Because as much as I want the Lions in the Super Bowl, they're really hurt on defense. So, and right now, I think the Eagles have the best defense out of the three. So,
yeah. Well, there's one thing to be said. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, if Aiden Hutchinson were to come back for the Lions in that game, I think there would be a storyline there. But I agree with you. The only way you beat Mahomes is by getting to him. Finish your point, Cologne.
Yeah, no, that was my point exactly. Because they're like beat up on defense. There are a lot of guys out of the Lions. And the last thing on the on NFL season, this past Christmas, I did not want to watch football. I really did not, but I did. And the reason being is because of my fantasy football team. They're in the championship. I have a couple players from the Chiefs, a couple players from Houston Texans. So I had to watch the game. Even though it was so bad, the NFL has got you either way. Somehow, some way, you always got to watch.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call, Cologne. The NFL's got you, except for Cade. NFL didn't have Cade on Christmas, did they?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have Netflix, so.
So you didn't have Netflix. So you didn't watch
wow!
the game.
What a fake fan! What?
Yeah. What did you watch instead, Cade?
I didn't watch sports on.
Did you?
Wait.
You did.
I did.
I
watched.
What did you watch?
I was thinking primetime. I was like, I didn't watch anything primetime. No, earlier in the day, after we had just opened presents, I was at my in-laws' place, and we were just kind of waiting for other family members to show up, and so they just turned on the TV to ESPN, thinking like, "Oh, Kate's here," because the rest of my family is like not sports people, but they're like,
"It's background noise."
Oh, Kate's here. We'll turn on ESPN, and they had the Spurs Knicks basketball game on, and then I remembered Disney Plus was doing a special, like those animated characters, like you always see. They were doing that for the basketball game.
God.
We had time to kill. No one else was watching it, and I wanted to see. Again, I come from a live broadcasting background. I wanted to see the production. I didn't care about the game itself. I wanted to see how it looked, how smooth it was, because I went back, or last year when they had this exact same thing in London with the Falcons and the Jaguars. You guys remember this? It was the Toy Story one?
Yeah.
Okay, that was
They had it with the Simpsons
horrible.
a couple weeks ago with the Bengals Cowboys.
Exactly. Those have not looked clean. With basketball, I wanted to see what the difference was, and I'll be dead honest, I was surprised on how clean and how accurate it was. I'm also a Disney nerd, so all of the references they were making, I absolutely was for. Would I watch a whole game like that? No, but for the 45 minutes I had to kill, it was kind of fun to watch.
All right, so Cade set that up properly. I was expecting Cade to just go, I was watching the Disney Knicks Spurs game, and we were just supposed to bash him. But since Cade took the technical perspective and the fact that he was really wanting to compare how ESPN West Palm does it versus how Disney Plus is doing it, I can't bash him too much there. My takeaway, who cares? That is a rough Disney Knicks Spurs. Knicks Spurs itself would have been a tough sell for me. And making it all animated, I don't know. I wouldn't have watched that. Christian, do you tune into that?
No, in fact, I didn't tune into any basketball on Christmas. I had the fantasy football implications, like Cologne from New Jersey said, where the NFL's got you. I was watching that god-awful Thursday night football game because I had both running backs. Just put a bullet between my eyes, dude. That was so bad. I could not.
Oh my God,
I could not handle it. Zach Charbonnet getting like 7 yards to carry in the first half, and then he gets 6 yards in the third quarter. Like things like that. watching DeAndre Swift play football with Caleb Williams, I do not want to experience that again in my life, but I will if I happen to own a player on my fantasy team, whatever the matchup is, because this time of year, fantasy football championship. But no, I didn't watch the Simpsons cast, the Toy Story cast, or what was this one? Toy Story?
No, it's just Disney. It was
Disney
like the
cast.
Mickey characters.
Didn't watch that.
You guys are lucky to actually have fantasy teams in championships at this time of year. I'm
Why
completely
Knicks
wiped.
Spurs? Why Knicks Spurs? Why the first game on Christmas Knicks Spurs?
So I will say it has something to do. So do you guys know that Disney does a Christmas parade that they broadcast from 10 to noon?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I think it's the flow from that.
Okay.
Right? So like you open presents first thing in the morning, right? And then you already have Disney in mind when you're watching the parade, and then you're like, oh, Disney Plus has this special. Let me watch it now. You're going to get no one prime time, no kids prime time for that Disney game. You want to get it while they're already in the Christmas season and the children type of area you're going for. Yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
Fair
Makes sense. That's Cade Chumslin, who was tuning in to Knicks Spurs in the animatronic sense over on Christmas Day. Christian Cat, of course, Colin Russo with you. Russo and Rizzo, we roll on into the second hour. Got to do a little better than yesterday. Now that we're in closer to 2025, it's time for us to really start thinking about resolution time. What do we need to get better at? What do we need to build our habits on? We'll do a little better than yesterday, presented by Flagstick Golf Performance. Coming up next, stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hey, Florida drivers, the holiday season is upon us. When celebrating, always plan ahead and know all your options. If you drink, don't get behind the wheel. Instead, designate a sober driver or catch a ride service. And if you are the designated sober driver, commit to staying sober. Besides, a DUI could cost you $10,000. Not exactly the best gift you could give yourself. Celebrate responsibly and remember to drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by the Florida Department of Transportation.
The all-new 2025 Range Rover Evoque is here, and it's ready to elevate your drive. Lease the Evoque for just $619 a month for 36 months with $59.95 due at signing, or finance at 3.9% APR for 60 months. Experience luxury, technology, and performance like never before. Don't miss this exclusive offer, available for well-qualified buyers and lessees. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today. But hurry, this offer ends January 2nd, 2025.
Hi, I'm Michael Manzo, owner and founder of Manzo's Italian Deli, and
Stop, Dad. After 20 years, people are tired of hearing your voice.
Yeah, and your lame-ass commercials.
Fresh prosciutto, mozzarella, outstanding.
Oh, please.
There's only one reason Manzo's is voted #1 deli in Palm Beach County for 20 years. Our mother.
She makes sure you prepare everything from scratch using only the freshest ingredients.
Manzo's Italian Deli is located on Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, right next to Rain Dancers.
Is that a strip club?
No, it's a steakhouse. Manzo's is open weekdays from 8 to 5 and offers free delivery. So stop by or call 697-9411. That's 697-9411.
we also specialize in hot and cold catering for corporate functions and special events.
Just ask anyone who was at my last birthday party.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Time now for a PNC pause. PNC Bank is committed to helping the customers and the communities they serve move forward financially. See how they can make a difference for you at pnc.com.
The South Florida Fair is almost here. Buy your advance tickets now and you can save up to 50%. Plus, if you use your discount admission ticket on opening day of the fair, you can keep it and visit the fair another day courtesy of Publix. That's 2 days of fun for the price of one.
South Florida Fair discount tickets are on sale now at Publix and online at southfloridafair.com. Fair opens January 17 in West Palm Beach.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
College football lives here on ESPN 106.3. This big week of college football on ESPN 106.3 is presented by PNC Bank. PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the lives of the customers they serve. See how at PNC.com.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Ball into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Connor!
Second hour of Russo and Rizzo live here on ESPN 106.3, the 27th of December, a Friday edition, as we send you off into a weekend pack full of a triple header tomorrow on the NFL and a packed Sunday with the college football playoff coming up next week and the new year coming along with that. Colin Russo, Cade Chumsland, Christian Cat with you on ESPN 106.3. They are live at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. I am remote back up north in Connecticut with family the last couple of days. As we roll on here with Russo and Rizzo. Want to make a quick announcement because I just heard about this. And for those who did not hear about this, I don't know if you guys have heard as well, this just came out, is that legendary sportscaster Greg Gumbel, it was officially announced by the New York Post that he has officially passed away at the age of 78. Greg Gumbel, a legend in the sports broadcasting, was CBS Sports was a staple on the coverage of college basketball. And was the first African-American play-by-play man for a American sports event in that giant Raven game back in 2001. So a pioneer in the business, passed away. I didn't know if this was suddenly or not. At 78 years old, terrible to hear that. Prayers out to him and his family. I had to announce that because Selection Sunday, that's Greg Gumbel. College basketball, that is Greg Gumbel. NFL on CBS, NBA 2K, that is Greg Gumbel. That is somebody, it's a voice that you recognize and a voice that, paved a lot of way for a lot of great sportscasters on the NFL, college basketball, CBS, Winter Olympics, the whole thing, you name it. Greg Gumbel did it. So rest in peace to Greg Gumbel, who passed away at 78 earlier today. But as we roll on here, in the meantime, time for us to reflect a little bit as we look to improve upon ourselves in the 2025 calendar year. And I want to get into is hopefully you guys have something in mind for your, not only what are you going to be better than yesterday at, what are you going to be better than last year at? So we roll on to it. Let's do a little better than yesterday, presented by Flagstick Golf Performance.
Flagstick Golf Performance presents Better Than Yesterday.
Our football team was like the kid that plays second French horn in the school band. We got to play better.
Yesterday's me couldn't parallel park. Today's me nailed it after 5 tries. How will you be better than yesterday?
So Better Than Yesterday on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3 is where we go around the room and reflect a little bit on what we need to improve upon. What is something that us or in the sports world need to really think reflectively on and start to take steps towards improving that? Cade, we'll start with you being the newbie of this very segment. I'm curious on where you go with this. Cade, what do you need to be better than yesterday at?
I need to start reading physical books more. I have lost the art of just sitting down with a solid novel and just reading for a long time. I'm doom scrolling too much. It's killing my eyes. It's killing my brain. I'm looking at absolute garbage. I'm missing real stories. I'm missing fun adventures. So I actually just started. I'm a little bit early on the new year. I just started last night, opened up my first book in what I hope to be a consistent schedule of before bed reading instead of doom scrolling. I opened up a book. This is Zach McDonald's new novel, children's novel, The Song of Hidden Stars. Riley Taylor's Song of Hidden Stars by Zach McDonald. He's a big Bookstagram guy, Instagram. Look him up. Zach McDonald, author. He's got about 70,000 followers right now. It's his brand new book. He just came out with a few months ago. A book where music is magic in this world.
You getting a cut out of these sales? What's going on here?
I mean, sorry.
No. Wait, so what
it's a good book.
When's the last book you finished? Give me that.
Ooh, probably when I was in school, honestly, because I'd have to read books for school, so it was probably school time.
Okay, and why'd you choose this one?
So, okay, I was trying to sell this guy as if he's just a big author. This is my high school best friend. Oh, see, I knew it. I was wondering,
what's the sell with the children's novel in the fantasy side? Why is Cade so into the fantasy novel?
Okay, so here's the thing. So the other part of this is my wife is an English major trying to be a creative writer girl, and I mean, I'm already repping the Gryffindor shirt right now that I got for Christmas. Shout out those watching on our live stream. And this is the genre that I'm probably going to be around for a long time. I also have a really good friend of mine who wrote a book.
Just say it's your buddy. Okay, that's all it is. Just say it's your buddy.
Trying to pass it off under the table.
Just say it's your buddy. Say I need to throw my buddy a bone, and he just wrote a book. Go check it out.
I thought that would be he's homing out his buddy time. I was trying to make it more professional than that.
Your buddy wrote a book. That's pretty cool. Not a lot of people could say that, and it's a fantasy novel. We get to see if there's something to it. All right. Now, Kate, are you going to be honest with your buddy if this book stinks?
Can you just start it? You don't know if it's great yet. What if...
and you got to finish it fast, too. If you take 2 months to finish this, you know that stinks. And your buddy's going to know, too. So what are you going to do? How are you going to handle this?
No, I will give him an honest review.
Good. I want to hear from you, too.
Hold on. If he spent 8 months on this book and he got it proofread and he, was it writer's block?
I'll say this.
And the whole thing, just for Cade to come in and say, I didn't really resonate with this at all, and it took me 3 months to finish. How do you think he's going to feel? He's one of your buddies.
He's got a little bit of accreditation, too. He got the editor of The Hunger Games to edit this book.
Oh.
As his official editor.
Oh, the editor. Okay, not
the editor. Okay. The editor of The Hunger Games edited his book as well. So he's trying to be the real deal right now. He's working on book 2 right now.
Clearly he is the real deal, or at least getting there. Wow, so I'm impressed. So we'll see if this book's any good. If you don't give an honest review, maybe I'll pick it up and I'll give an honest review.
I'll take it for a spin.
I will come on air and give an honest review if that's what it takes.
All right. Well,
this book written for 12-year-olds didn't quite resonate with my 23-year-old self, Colin Russo. Gotta admit,
children's is not. It's young adult. Children's is not the right way of saying it. It's like Percy Jackson, Harry Potter. It's that genre.
Fair enough.
Okay. And I like that. Reading books. Once you get into a really good one, that's a great feeling. It's better than getting into a great TV show. Is when you're into a great book because you can't put it down.
That's how you get going to the beach. I'm not a big beach goer. I don't like the sand, and I don't realize what there is to do. I tried to watch NFL Red Zone once on the beach, and it was difficult. The sun's in your eyes, the glare isn't good, the internet's not good enough. Reading makes you want to go to the beach, because that's probably the best activity to do as an adult at the beach, other than drinking, is actually reading.
I agree with that. And it is a great hobby, because you could pass 2 hours. If you're on the beach, you're comfortable. You could stop your book, go swimming, come back, and then just continue reading. That's a way to kill a day at the beach. Pick up a book, and you'll do some damage. I want to get. I'm pretty good with reading. I'm not that consistent with it, depending on the time of year. But I do like reading. I'm more of the nonfiction guy myself. But my parents got my sister a book for Christmas, and she already read it, so she gave it to me. I couldn't tell you the name. I haven't started it yet. But it's one of those fiction books about, CIA, espionage, one of those things. And my parents both read it, and my sister read it. And they all have different tastes of books. And they said it's great. So I'm interested in getting into that. I'm not really a fiction book guy. I'm always a nonfiction, biopic, that type of thing. But, so we'll see. I'm going to get into that myself in terms of the reading game. So, Christian, better than yesterday, what is your token to the new year? What do you need to improve upon?
When we get to this time of year, to the holidays, I look at, hey, let's both spend less than $100 on a gift for one another just to make it simple and easy. I always go over, and it's apparent that I go over those, what is it? What's it called? a limit or when you do gifts from one another, I always go over the agreed upon budget for the gifts. And it puts the person I give the gift to in an uncomfortable spot, but I can't help it. If I see something that is 50% more than the agreed budget, but I know it's the perfect gift, I'm not just going to not get you that perfect gift. No, I'm going to buy that for you, and you'll have to deal with it. I've done this with friends. I've done this with family. I've done this with my significant other. It's a really tough quality to have.
So is that a problem? I'm confused. What's the better?
It is. Yeah, I got to be better at gift getting within my budget.
If you're not going to, why set the limit if you're just going to keep bursting past it? The idea is you want it to feel like it's an even value on either side. Now, my question is, you said it's a pretty abundantly clear just by looking at the gift that you spend more money than the desired upon, or I guess the agreed upon price point. Do you have an example of this?
Yeah. So, like, let's say a gift for me and my buddy. It was at $100, under $100. My best childhood friend, so it's a pretty high dollar. $100 for just a friend in your life.
Absolutely.
And I saw tickets to something, and I said, "We got to go to that." And I'm taking care of your tickets, and we're going to go to that. So, and like it's just public knowledge how expensive the tickets are to this, because you're buying them this ahead of time, where it's like the pre-sale and all of that. So it was clearly above $100. It's a shared experience, yes, but it was over 50% more than the $100.
Yeah, a good way to offset that is like, all right, if we're going and you overspent on your gift, like, just get me a beer at the event.
That's a great idea.
That's also
get me a beer at the event.
That's also you enjoying the gift as well.
I guess so. So it's not a completely selfless act of giving him this. I'm also deciding to give myself this experience. All right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Make you feel better.
If there's sort of a guilt about it, just be like, just give me a hot dog. Like, just get me something to eat at the event, and then we'll be good to go. It's just, you don't have to, penny pinch the dollars and figure out what is which. But if you're that much in debt or he is, then just give me a beer. Give me $20 anyway.
Colin, what was the risk you took to give a gift to your brother, I believe, before the holidays? How to pay it off?
Nailed it.
It was the art. It was the art. No, it was the art. It was the art thing. And
we'll let Colin describe, because I don't know.
Well, I'm here, Kate. Yeah.
It was, no, because I listened to the show.
Right. Kate, when I got it, it was not an art thing. It was
a movie thing.
A movie festival. So one of those, a film festival, excuse me. There's one in Santa Barbara. He goes to school down in Los Angeles. So I got him the a 4-ticket package, and I to a Santa Barbara Film Festival, which is just north, and I got him the train ticket and everything. So I told him, all right, just bring a buddy and go to 2 screenings. That's probably better than going to 4 by yourself. And then on top of that, I got him an event to a Q&A thing, which he loves. He likes hearing from the actors. He's an aspiring filmmaker. With Timothy Chalamet, who was just in the Bob Dylan movie, one of the biggest young stars in Hollywood. So I just told him, he's like, "Where's your gift?" Because nothing was wrapped. I'm like, "Listen, just let me know when you want to hear about it." And because we usually do a thing where like we take our time opening our gifts, my family. And he just asked me, he's like, "All right, what is it?" I'm like, "All right, this, that, and that." I'm like, "Let me know if you want to go to the Chalamet thing." And then he was kind of blown away because he got me a phone case.
Yes, sir.
Oh no.
No problem. No. Listen, no problem. No problem. Because I sent it to my siblings. I said, if you want to get out of jail free card, here it is. And I sent like a $13 OtterBox, and I'm like, just buy that. You'll be
in the 2013, the OtterBox.
Yeah, I love my OtterBox. Just got a new one right here, so we're good. But so he got me the phone case, and I replaced it with a getaway weekend at a film festival in one of the nicest towns in the United States.
A mentorship from Timothy Chalamet in film.
He's in one of the nicest towns, Santa Barbara, in the entire United States, getting to hang out and watch movies.
I think you've got the over-deliver problem more than Zcat does right now.
Christmas to me is a winning and losing thing. That's winning Christmas for me, so I have no problem with
Absolutely. Well done.
And also, he's in college. I have a job.
That's all he could afford.
I could sort of alleviate a little bit more money comparatively to him. So I thought I nailed that, but I understand.
Where he goes to school, is it like a school that like has a athletic program, a desirable place for you to visit?
No, it's Loyola Marymount University, so they have a hoops team. I don't think they have a football team, but it's right next to LAX. I'll probably, like, if I go out there, at some point. I don't know. He's not a sports fan, though. So he wouldn't. He's not the type to go with me to a sporting event. I'd rather go with him to a movie thing because I like movies.
Now, Colin, I heard that he wasn't necessarily the happiest with you before this Christmas, and
I think we're good.
This was to get back right. So we're good now. We're chill.
I think we're good.
Awesome.
I think we're good. I think he was a little taken aback that I got him this gift. He's like, oh my God, really? I'm like, yeah, I know. I got you.
All right, what are you getting better at yesterday than that for you?
All right. Maybe getting less competitive about Christmas would be a start, but no, I was thinking about this. I guess when I get out of my routine a little bit, I am bored stiff. And this is the time of the year where, listen, it's fun to get out of routine for a couple of days. People like to, oh, I can't wait for a break. I can't wait to get out of the cycle, the whole thing. And then you do it for 2 days. You're like, all right, that's enough. We're sort of on like the day 4 or 5 period for that. I need to get better at setting aside a bit of a routine when I'm not in my routine, if that makes sense. I need to have a backup plan. I got nothing going on.
We got a plan. We have a plan B of the routine, is what we're saying here.
It's like you're on vacation. There's still a routine when you're on vacation. You get up, you go to breakfast. You get up, you do this, you do that. You got your activities. It's sort of like that. I got nothing. I went to the theater twice yesterday. I'm probably going to go tomorrow morning as well. I got nothing going on. I need a schedule. And I am somebody that's a creature of habit. I need a routine. I went to my YMCA, and my membership was denied, so I had to talk my way in. I'm like, and that worked. And then that's it. That's all I got. I got shin splints, so I can't run. I got nothing going on, fellas. And if our bosses are listening, there is nothing that I could do remote outside of the show. So, like, before we start yelling at me, that I could be super productive with what we're going on day to day, let's just save ourselves the trouble. I'll spare you the suspense. There's not a lot I could do, up north comparatively.
You want to talk about high school at 6 o'clock? You don't want to.
We can do a little ESPN West Palm High School game day, breaking down whatever game is going on in the area. But I don't know what we have on that sense. So there's not a lot I could do. I need to get better at setting it. Aside I like how Kate said that, a plan B routine. I like my routine when I'm in Florida, but now that you're at home, it's almost like summer camp. I just don't know what I'm doing.
I feel like you got to pick up a series to binge, right? Isn't this
that's
the time
what everybody
to do that?
says, is like this is the time of the year to like you have to watch a minimum of like one season of something, of a TV show or something like that. So I've thought about that, and I actually watched because I get up early. At like 9:45 a.m. this morning, I did a bunch of errands in the morning.
Okay.
And then I watched 2 episodes of Squid Game.
Yeah.
And Squid Game was something I could not finish when it came out a number of years ago. And I gave it a chance again. It's okay. It's okay. It's not great. And I've watched all the great shows. I've seen the Breaking Bad, Sopranos. I've seen all the great ones. So in that case, I watched the movies. But, 2 movies in a day at the theaters, I've got my fix. So
yeah.
I need a routine. Whether it's books, that's a good idea. I need to finish my Aaron Rodgers book. And then a TV series. So I need something to get me through the next couple of days. We got sports tomorrow, thank God. But there's nothing going on tonight. There's nothing tonight. A&M USC, I know I got that for my punchline picks. That's about it. So that was our Better Than Yesterday, presented by Flagstick Golf Performance. Go visit them in person. Find out all the info you need. You can walk in. There's plenty of deals on Flagstick Golf Performance on the Instagram or flagstickgolfperformance.com. And in the team, they'll get you right. They got lessons. They have a tour-inspired build shop if you want to get something shortened, regripped, new heads, different clubs. They fit you. It's the perfect way to leverage ultimate technology to get you better at golf, but also get the right tools in place to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to succeed with the professionals that Flagstick has available. They presented Better Than Yesterday on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Cade, Christian, and Colin will take you through and continue on the program a little bit next. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen. A huge Saturday bowl game tripleheader is here. We begin at noon with the Pinstripe Bowl. Boston College and Nebraska. Iowa State and Miami are up next in the Pop-Tart Bowl. BYU and Colorado close out the night at 7:30 in the Alamo Bowl.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit SignoramawPB.com.
The Club at Lost Lake, a championship Fazio design golf course in Hope Sound. Golf and social memberships are now available with no waiting list and immediate access. The course and club will see over $10 million in capital improvements and is one of the best private club values in the area. Experience the beauty and challenge of this renowned course for yourself. Enjoy year-round access to exclusive amenities and events. Visit clublostlake.com to schedule a visit today. Don't miss out on this incredible course. And please, putt responsibly.
Huddle up at Hurricane Grill and Wings, where every day is game day. From our famous wings to our refreshing new cocktails, we're serving up the flavors you crave. And score big with our happy hour deals. It's the perfect spot to catch all the football action while enjoying your food faves, cocktails, and beer. Don't miss out. Grab your friends and family and swing by Hurricane Grill and Wings to see what everyone's cheering about. Visit hurricanewings.com to find the restaurant nearest you.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
As market dynamics change, the quality of service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver where others can't. Visit anchin.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
ESPN 106.3 is presented by Rubenstein Law. 1-800-FL-LEGAL. Car accident, truck accident, Uber or Lyft accident, or a slip and fall. Call Rubenstein Law. Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL and visit one of our offices throughout Florida.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
It's winter, which means you need to get ahead of all the bowl game action and plan out your weekends. It's time to make Twin Peaks your headquarters to watch your favorite team make the playoffs and track your fantasy team. Whether your teams win or lose, you still end up a winner with eats, drinks, scenic views, and Twin Peaks 29-degree ice-cold beer. Enjoy some made-from-scratch favorites like the mozzarella bites, burgers, or wings. Love the mozzarella bites. And if you can't make it in for all the games, that's fine. Stop in for the man-size $5 happy hour drafts and enjoy select appetizers as well. And if you're not into watching football, Twin Peaks has you covered too. They carry UFC fights every single weekend. Main cards, they got it. Fight nights, got it. Twin Peaks is the ultimate guys lodge for all things sports. So grab your crew and head over to Twin Peaks for the seasonal beer rotations and exclusive cocktails that pair perfectly with a big game. Whether you're at Twin Peaks for the football, the fights, or just some fun with friends, you'll always leave feeling like a champion. Head into Twin Peaks, your home for eats, drinks, and scenic views.
Hey golf fans, Colin Russo here. Looking to improve your game? Flagstick Golf Performance, the ultimate indoor golf experience, is now open in Boynton Beach. With 3 indoor simulators and a state-of-the-art putting studio, Flagstick helps players at all levels up their game.
Get lessons from experts, try the latest clubs, or just come up for a round in the simulators. You can track your stats and see real improvement. Flagstick is where serious golfers and beginners find their edge. Bring your friends or family and enjoy golf like never before. Visit flagstickgolfperformance.com to book your session.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine, and our team is a triple threat to big insurance companies.
Don't settle with the insurance companies for a fraction of what your case is worth. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve.
That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Get your free case review right now. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
In limbo between the holiday seasons, it's December the 27th on Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo with you. Joined alongside me is Kate Chumslin back at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach with Christian Cat behind the glass, as always, making sure we're over the waves over here on ESPN 106.3. Continuing on here as we close out the program on a Friday edition of the program in which we had to make some picks, and Christian makes his picks. Mike and I make ours for punchline picks in which we go head-to-head, taking games against the spread, and the winner of at the end of the season into the playoffs will be getting on stage and doing a little stand-up comedy. And Kate, I want to get your thoughts on this before we get into Blitzing the Book there, presented by Hard Rock Bet. Kate, who do you think amongst the four of us, as in Christian Cat, Mike Rizzo, myself, and Theo Dorsey of Theoretically Speaking, which you could hear 2 to 4 on these very airwaves, who would be the worst on-stage stand-up comedy? Who would be the biggest disaster? And who do you think would see the most success?
I think, so to answer your first part of that question, who would be the worst, I actually think it's Theo. I think Theo is too nice of a guy, too smiley of a guy to make other people like laugh. Like, because you have to be a little bit. You have to be a little bit.
That.
Yes.
You have to be a little bit of a jerk and a little bit mean when you're on stage, and I don't think Theo's that guy. You also have to be ridiculously good at impressions, and that's why I think Rizzo is actually the best guy for comedy, because with all the voice stuff I hear him do on radio, with how loud and obnoxious he is, I think he would do something to make it
bang. We got nice guy McGee who
firing
can't
from the
laugh.
hip.
We've got
Theo, he doesn't have the stones.
there.
Theo doesn't have the it factor to make people laugh. But Rizzo, he's as annoying
you gotta be
as
a
they
breed.
come. But because of that, he might actually be pretty good on stage.
You gotta be a breed for a comedian.
It makes me worried. If me and you weren't on the air right now, myself and Colin, like, what would be said about us right now? If we got obnoxious,
no. So
we've got not funny.
Colin, I think, could put some good. I think you two could put some good jokes together, and I think you would deliver them fine. But I think Rizzo's got like the impersonation, the impressions, and the over dramatic nature.
Sebastian
of a comedian.
Maniscalco. That's what we're hearing here.
You don't want to get my 2 cents on that? To build off Cade's point a little bit, I think Rizzo can put on a persona on stage that you could laugh at.
Yes.
And I wouldn't necessarily say like, oh, he's so strange, let's laugh at him. It's more of the sense of like Rizzo is a bit of a one-of-one. And because of that, people like that, they're entertaining to look at. They're entertaining to see how their mind works. I think Mike Rizzo kind of falls under that. So I think to that point, it'd be fun to laugh, whether with him or at him, at the stuff he is doing on stage. That would be my 2 cents on that.
I've got a Google Drive document of jokes that I am waiting to unleash, and they are not suitable for air.
I cannot wait until the first joke you have written on that Google Drive, the one you have, bolded, completely bombs, and you throw the rest out the window.
Like, has anybody else thought about that? And then crickets. No. Oh, I'm just messed up.
So you've prepared quite a bit. Theo, I think, thinks he'd be too good at it. Theo thinks, I've said this before on the program, Theo has a lot of MC experience. He's a TV anchor. He's good in front of a crowd. There's no doubt about that. He has a stage presence. But he can get people to laugh, when they're eating their salads at an awards ceremony. It's not the same as getting people to laugh when there's, 6 Heinekens sitting on a plastic chair in a basement somewhere in a comedy cellar.
Theo is the MVP of your beer league softball team, but he wouldn't make the roster of a Division III baseball team. Like, when it's easy for him, he knocks it out of the park every single time. But once he's got a challenging room, what he has to earn, he's facing 87 in movement. Oh, Theo's swinging a miss.
Wow. Yeah, wow. You're saying he's not resilient. That's interesting. Not a resilient bunch, huh? So I think we would all be unmitigated disasters on stage. But that's just our takeaway on that. Our punchline picks. Go ahead.
We would all be unmitigated disasters, but it would crush me the most because I'm kind of walking into this with a little bit more subtle confidence that I'm not really saying how confident I am that I believe that I am the funniest on the stage for us.
You've been saying this for years, too.
Everybody's on the same page is like, I'm not expecting anybody to get people off their chairs laughing. Are you expecting that?
I've got some material. I want to text you some prompts that I've got after the show, and one of them hit me while on my drive in Pennsylvania over the weekend.
You type this into your notes, and what are you giggling when you type it into your phone?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm like, this is gonna be good. I stop my friend from talking. Wait a second. That's a stand-up bit, and I type it out, and then I'm gonna go to the writer's room if we end up losing. Which the reason we're talking about stand-up comedy is it's theoretically speaking, which is 2-4, and Russo and Rizzo, which you're listening to right now, 4-6. In a season-long picks competition against the spread. Loser gets on stage at stand-up comedy open mic, and I'm kind of bracing for it. Right now, theoretically speaking, which is my team, is down by 4. You guys are on top, and we're getting ready for that.
Yeah, so we'll see. Off of the fact that I think I have the most realistic perspective on everything, that I think that we would be terrible. Off of that, I think I would go in which kind of just guns blazing and just waiting to fail. And because of that, I don't think I'd be disappointed. I think Rizzo would be very disappointed if and when he gets nobody to laugh. I think Theo would almost be confused as to why nobody is laughing when he is on stage. He'd be like, I don't know why they didn't think that was funny. I'm a funny guy.
He's the excuses would roll in from Mr. Dorsey.
Oh my goodness, unbelievably.
I don't want to hear it. And I think, Christian, to your point, you might do. Instead of being annoyed or, a little embarrassed, I think you would just be crushed. Yeah. It would just be an emotional thing. Thought I had it. Mm-hmm. I thought I had it in me.
Can't you just see Rizzo afterwards be like, fair play to him. Yeah. Fair play to him.
Hey, they don't like the jokes. The airline food's not working for them. Okay. Hey, I'm not for everybody.
My family thought it was hilarious. That makes a lot of sense because these are family stories.
Were you listening to this point that Rizzo made, Cade, when we talked about this? Was that I've run some of the jokes by my family and they loved it.
Uncle so-and-so thought that I was hysterical. Grandma, man, I'm the best in the world.
How he has these stories ready to rock and roll, and he tells us how these stories have association with his family, and he told them to his family.
Yeah.
It's easy to make your family laugh when you're telling a family story because everybody knows, everybody was there. Everybody's going to laugh about it.
Can we get an over-under on how many times we're going to
hear this voice from Mike Rizzo when he does stand-up comedy?
Oh, God, I'd have to leave the room.
He's going to do it every time he does an impersonation.
In the meantime, to figure out who is going to really be getting on stage doing those impressions, we got to Blitz the Book, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Send some heat. Pin your ears back. It's time to Blitz the Book. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
So we're blitzing the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We're on Russo and Rizzo. We go game for game, pick against the spread, make our 6 picks of the week. Mike and I have already got this settled. Christian has his picks for the week. I want to get Cade's reaction and get, hopefully, Cade's vote of confidence on our picks for this week. It is presented by none other than Hard Rock Bet. Go try it now. Bet on the NFL, bet on the Dolphins all season long. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, a prop, the over, whatever you like to bet. In a game you choose, you either win your first bet or get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. Talk about the Seminole Trap in Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. So, Christian, like you alluded to earlier on our Punchline Picks, where we go pick for pick the whole season long, you guys are only down 4 entering Week 17 of this competition. And you made 6 picks and a couple bowl games, which I was surprised to see. How do you walk us through those?
Yeah, so we have to talk about this because you made your picks a day or two after mine, and we have some similar games but different lines. But we'll get to that. I took the Vikings. And, well, really, Theo took the Vikings over the weekend.
You love splitting this up. Hold on. You love splitting this up. You guys are a team. You both took it. You took that Minnesota. What was that, -1 in that one?
Yep. Vikings -1 against the Packers. 4:25 p.m. on Sunday. Get the Broncos +3, also a Theo Dorsey special. The middle game on the Saturday slate against the Bengals. Another Theo Dorsey special, which is probably my least favorite pick that our side of the competition has made all season long.
Wow.
The University of Miami -3.5
You
in
don't
the
like
top
this one.
bar. I despise this pick. I see one team that will not give a rat's rear end about, and then I see an Iowa State team that has something to prove in this game. Miami's going to get crushed by 10 points.
Maybe. But the way I look at this, too, is you could also flip out it on the other side of things, that Miami wants to prove that we're that team that should have gotten into the bowl or into the 12-team playoff. But then you look, case in point, a year prior to Florida State, who walked into that bowl game after not getting that bid and got absolutely slaughtered by Georgia. So I see that both sides. I was actually okay with that pick. I thought Miami would play pretty well in that game. Maybe I'm wrong.
And
Maybe
Miami's
I'm dead wrong.
going to Orlando. Me and Theo got in like a 10-minute argument over the phone before today's show. We never actually brought it over to the show because we ran out of time. But Miami's driving up to Orlando. Oh, what a nice extravagant trip from Miami to Orlando for the Pop-Tart Bowl. And no, Iowa, the Cyclones will be happy to get out of the cold weather down to Central Florida. I'm so unconfident in that pick. But
wow.
Now we get to my picks, which are all college. I like Penn State -10.5. Putting my heart on the line here. Bet on Penn State once this season. They killed me against Ohio State. Maybe it won't happen again. Give me Penn State -10.5.
It's a big line. You're rooting for a
certainly
bad
is.
game.
That's true. But you know what? As a fan of the team that would make it a bad game,
okay. You'll be
I'll
pleased.
sacrifice one of these bad quarterfinals for a guarantee that Penn State would be in the Orange Bowl where I can go see them.
Okay.
Last 2 picks. This one's stinky, and all the public's all over LSU, so I went with Baylor -1.5 in that game. It's another game that's on New Year's Eve, the same day as Penn State. And I just feel no reason to bet Baylor, so I said, you know what? Let's do it. Why not? I feel like that's where the sports books make their money, i.e., I make my money. And our final pick, I believe we're on the flip side of you on this one, USC, Texas A&M.
That's tonight, which is at 10:30 p.m. on ESPN. USC A&M in Las Vegas. You took USC getting the points, 4+4 you have. We have -3.5 on A&M, so you like USC here.
I do like USC here. This feels like the comeuppance of the SEC. The SEC feels a little bit slighted after watching the first round of the playoffs, talking about we're this, we're that. Now A&M isn't one of those teams that feels they deserve to play in that tournament, but I think we're going to see a motivated USC team to prove something, to defend the Big Ten guard. Give me the Trojans over the Aggies.
So now USC is all standing in front of the pearly gates of the Big Ten 1 year in when they go 500 in conference.
They got something to prove. The new guy in prison. You know, you walk in, you punch a guy in the face.
Punch the biggest guy in the face. That's what USC is trying to do. Okay, yeah.
You punch the 12th man in the face.
Interesting. That's interesting. I took A&M on that because, I mean, granted, to your point, all these bowl games are when they're not college football playoff games. Is this team playing for anything? Do they have any reason to show up? Because there is basically a coin flip chance that these teams will not show up, period. I was on the flip side of that A&M argument. I think A&M will beat USC tonight. USC has gotten thrashed by that transfer portal. They lost their 2 top receivers. Miller Moss, I know, was benched before they went to that backup quarterback. But so they lost their quarterback. They lost a couple offensive linemen. I think the SEC, like you said, maybe a little something to prove here. They got a returning quarterback who's going to be playing. They have a lot of that offensive production playing. Mike Elko, first-year head coach for A&M. I was on the flip side of that. Now, I have a couple NFL picks. You guys only took that Viking pick, which I like. I don't know if the Broncos will cover, but I understand the pick nonetheless. I took Atlanta on Sunday Night Football against the Commanders. Not to win, just to cover 4.5. Now, Cade, I think this is a decent pick. I want to get your thoughts on this because the Commanders, weirdly enough, I think both those teams in the NFC South, the Tampa Bay and Atlanta, are both going to lose another game before the end of the year. And whether that is that Commander game, I still think that Carolina game on either side, Tampa Bay plays them this week and then they play Atlanta next week. No walk in the park, but I think Atlanta will keep it close against the Commanders.
I actually think the Commanders have this one pretty handily. I think that Michael Penix Jr. is going to get a little bit of a surprise from a legitimate defense. He got the easy walkthrough with the New York Giants, and he didn't necessarily particularly play like super well. Yeah, I think he's going to get a little bit taken aback at the real speed of the NFL when it comes to the Commanders. And we're talking about a Commanders team that I might be wrong, just beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Michael Penix Jr. didn't have to play good, so there was no real pressure on him when you're playing the New York Giants. But
this is a Sunday Night Football in a hostile environment in Washington, outdoors. This is going to be an interesting test for him, but he doesn't necessarily need to, light the world on fire. Just needs to keep them afloat. They have a good defense. They have a ton of offensive talent. I think Atlanta will keep it close, plus 4.5 we took there. Here's one that I loved. I love Dallas. I got this earlier today, so I'm not sure if the line has changed ever since Jalen Hurts was deemed out, but Dallas plus 7. They're at Philadelphia. I understand that. But Dallas has played good football. That defense is kind of firing. It's a little bit of a rivalry in conference. The Eagles are not necessarily playing for that 1 seed anymore. I think they're just trying to walk into that postseason healthy. I like Dallas getting 7 points in Philadelphia this week against Kenny Pickett and company. I thought that one was easy. And here's another one I think is a really good. I was surprised the line was this big. Tampa Bay is favored by 8 points over Carolina. So Carolina plus 8 I thought was a steal. Carolina should have won that game off that Chuba Hubbard fumble against Tampa Bay. What was that, 3 weeks ago? And they were a catch away from beating the Eagles. They took the Chiefs down to the wire. This is a team. They beat the Cardinals last week in overtime. They had that bad loss against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are actually pretty solid. I think Carolina's going to cover here. Tampa Bay had that bad loss on Sunday Night Football. I get it. But I think this is a good Carolina pick. Christian, do you agree with that? I've been a Carolina guy all year. But I think they're playing for something.
Yeah, that's true. They're trying to. They've solidified that they're going to be building with Bryce Young. I think that the second half of the season solidified that. And just to rewind a little bit, the line in the Cowboys-Eagles game, it not only didn't go down when the news was announced for Jalen Hurts, it's now 7.5. So I guess that number.
That means
was
the money's
like
on
that.
Dallas. That means the money's on Dallas. If it's moving, that means the money's. If they're getting more points.
Well, no. The money's
actually, no,
on
it means the money is on the
Eagles.
Eagles. Excuse me. Yeah, I had that flipped.
They're confident in that Kenny Pickett-led team, which shocks me.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. But, the Eagles coming back after a loss here. They've been pretty good at it all year. I don't know. But we took the Steelers on Christmas Day. That was an awful pick. That's on me. I thought the Steelers would show up and play that way. That's me. You're rooting for the NFL to get a good game. Terrible. But another one, a Big 12 matchup in the bowl matchup. We're taking Colorado minus 3.5 against that one. Colorado has their guys playing. I think they have something to prove. It's a little bit of a draft scout post Heisman. I think they'll actually play tough in that game. I think Deion will get those guys ready to play. That was Russo Rizzo. That was Blitz the Book presented by Hard Rock Bet. In the meantime, got to tell you, if you've been in a car accident, truck accident, or suffered a slip and fall, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are here to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Why settle for just any attorney? Demand Anajar and Levine. They're the best in the business for the reason. That's the Anajar and Levine difference. Don't waste any time getting back what you deserve today. All it takes, one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for a free consultation. Now all you got to do, call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Now, those were our picks against the spread as we enter a weekend. Any upsets brewing? Do we think Cincinnati will beat the Broncos? Do you think the Broncos are going to clinch in Cincinnati this weekend? We'll pull the crowd.
I think C-Cat is on the Bengals. I like
well,
the Broncos.
You're on the Broncos.
Theo, but theoretically speaking,
Theo's
he's on the Broncos.
Wow.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut, in my opinion, there.
God, God, you guys are not on the same page at all.
I'm also on the Broncos, though, so it's actually hilarious how much Theo and I, who usually are opposite on picks, how much we're aligned on this one, but I also will take the Broncos. If you ask me about an upset, though, I know it's going to come later, but Arizona
Gotta send
State.
you off. That's been Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
PNC Bank is committed to making a difference in the South Florida community. That's why they offer military banking products, champion veteran-owned businesses, and provide support to local organizations that empower veterans and their families with the resources they need to succeed. PNC Bank. See how they can help you at pnc.com/military. The PNC Financial Services Group, Incorporated, all rights reserved. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like, uh-oh, than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions or crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new